So as we have discussed in the previous class, I assume that most of you have revised and you are having a good command on the previous topics. If you are having a good command on the previous topic, today's class is one of the most easiest class. And in the same way, the furtherly everything will be continued. The moment we enter into the functions, now what are the functions we are going to do now? From here onwards, every day our work is only functions. Within the Python, various functions are there and what is the use of various functions, right? Now, so functions is a group of related statements which are used to perform a specific task, some task. Inside the function, some lines of code is there. That lines of code, it is going to execute. Let's take an example. Okay. Now, here we are having the different types of functions. What are the different types of functions means? Inbuilt functions, user-defined functions, and module functions. Now, let me explain what is meant by user-defined function. User-defined function means user is going to create. User will create the function. Define means creating. User creating function. See, I'm going to create. Yeah, before writing all this from starting to ending, all these lines, just focus on this so that you'll understand what is the meaning of them. Okay. First, I'm going to write here def. Def means define. So I'm going to define a function. It is a keyword. Like how we are having the del and in like this. This is also one of the keyword. Now def. After the def, I'm going to write one function name. Any function name of your choice. The function module name, class name, all these names should be based on the same rules. What are the rules are applicable for the variable name? The same rules are applicable for the function name also. It cannot start with the numerical value. It cannot have with respect to any other special character other than underscore. Same, what are the rules are applicable for the variable name? Same rules are applicable. So here I'm going to take add. Okay, function name is add. Sir, you told this is a keyword, this is a function name. How you know that this is a keyword, this is a function means def is the keyword. After that, I'm not writing the bracket. For add, I'm adding the brackets. So for which one the brackets are there, that is a function. Sir, while doing the indexing, we are going to write like this now, L of bracket now, that is square brackets. If you write the same L with respect to like this, it is a function. Okay, that square brackets. Square brackets are indices. Okay. Now add of a comma b means two arguments I'm going to provide. Two arguments or two parameters. You can use the word parameters or arguments. Two parameters or two arguments I'm going to give, and it is going to take two arguments and it will complete the a plus b, and it is going to return the c. It is going to return the C value. Return means it gives the C value output. Now, just observe. This is the function which I have created. Now, I'm going to use this function. How to use this function means add. Add of 2 comma 3. Now, what is 2 means? 2 is equal to A value, 3 is equal to B value. And it is going to execute these two lines. So now can you read this sentence now? A function is a set of statements. Set of statements means these are the two statements. Statements means nothing but lines of code. A function is a lines of code where it takes the input. What the input it is going to take? 2 comma 3 as the inputs. So A comma B it is going to take as the input. So here you have to provide whatever the A value and B value. It is going to take the inputs and do the specific computation, that is nothing but these lines it is going to execute and produces the output. So it is going to give the output like this 5. What it is going to do? It is going now see here I'm going to use only add. It is going to throw the error because inputs are not given. So a function will take the inputs. First it has to take the input. If the function was created with 2 inputs means 2 inputs you have to give. If the function was created with 5 inputs means 5 you have to give. If the function was created with 1 input means you have to give 1 input. A function was created with no input means you also should not give the input. And what are the options are there? Everything we'll discuss one by one. Okay, in this multiple options are there. Multiple. So we have to discuss so many examples. Okay, so First, in this example, it is going to take the two inputs. What are the two inputs it is going to take? Means A and B. They are missing here. So you have to give some A value and some B value. Then it is going to execute these two lines of code and it is going to finally give the output. Finally, it gives the output of this. Now, could you tell me SUB, sub of 2, 3. What is the output of sub of 2, 3? Now, it is going to throw the error because sub is not a inbuilt function. It will work when you have created sub. Add is working. Why add is working? Because you have created add function and you have executed that one. So it has created. Who created sub? Sub function is not there. Sir, how you know sub function is not there? Because this is in the black color now, not in green color now. See here, length function, green color or black color? Now id function, green or black? Next type function, green or black? And input function, print function, print function. So all these are in the green colors. The green color functions indicates they are inbuilt. Inbuilt means automatically already there. You no need to create them. So now see in the print function, PRIN, P is not there, PRIN, which is in the green color or black color? Black color. This is a user defined function. If it is available, it will execute. If it is not available, it will throw the name error. That function only not available. The function is not available. Similarly, sub is black color. Either it should be a user defined. If you have already created that one and executed that one, means it will work. Otherwise, it will throw the name error. Hey, what is this sub? That function is not available. So why you are getting the print as a name error? Why you are not getting as a syntax error? Why? Because print might be created as a user defined. You may create as a user defined. Sir, for example, I am going to create like this. Def print 1, 2 or A, B, and I am going to write C is equal to A into B and return C. Now print will work or not? Print of 2, 3, it will work and it is going to give. So we can't say print is a syntax error. Print might be used as a user defined function. Now print, if you take print, can you create a print like that? Means no. Print is already an inbuilt function. Whichever the inbuilt functions are there, that one if you create as a user defined function, then it is going to take whatever you have created. It will not take automatically by default one. Again, it is going to be a problem. Is the point is clear? So here, what is user defined function? The point is simple. What is user defined function or any function? Any function will take the input and it is going to execute. Now, here you are going to take length. Len is a function. What it is going to give? First, you have to provide some input. Input might be string. Input might be a list, tuple, set and dictionary. Anything. Out of these 5, anything you can give. For example, I am giving the list of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, once I have provided the list as the input, it is going to give me the total number of count. Total how many are there? Total number of items. Now, without this input, you are not giving the input, it is going to throw the error because it is asking one argument you have to provide. For what I have to calculate the length. It is asking the question for what I have to provide, whether for string or for length, for list or for tuple. So what a function is going to do means it takes the input and do something and it is going to give the output. Every function will be the same, whether it is inbuilt function, whether it is user defined function or whether it is a module function. Anything work in the same manner. Is the point is clear, guys? So a function is a group of related statements. Group of related statements means a group of lines of code which are related to each other to perform a specific task. Is the point is clear now? With this example, it is clear. So you are creating a functions. Now the question is, sir, what is the use of creating a function? Okay, we are going to create one functions, and what is the use? Now, I'm going to create the multiple functions. 10 functions I have created. Okay, after creating the 10 user defined functions I created, remember this point. The point is to be noted. What is the point? I created 10 user defined functions. I have created 10 user defined functions. So I have created 10 user defined functions. Okay, after creating 10 user defined functions, now I have to share it to you. Now how I have to share it to you? Just I'm going to write them in the notepad and I will share it to you. What you will do? You will copy all of them and you will paste them. Let us create them like this. First function name is add a comma b. Let me create a comma b colon, and c is equal to a plus b, and return the c value. Okay, this is function. Def means user defined function. For creating user defined function, keyword. And a and d. What is the use of a and d? To check two things at a time, two conditions at a time. What is the use of or? To check any one of the condition, either it is true or false. What is the use of while? To repeat. What is the use of for? To repeat. What is the use of else? To check whether the previous condition was failed or not. What is the if condition? What is the if word use? Like that, one keyword is having one importance. Similarly, def is having the importance to create a function. Okay, is the point is clear, guys? Your question is clear? So I'm going to write here sub. Sub is the function. Example purpose, I'm writing simple functions. Later I will explain the some big examples. A minus b, return c. Okay, one more function. Def mul of a comma b, c is equal to a into b, return c. Next, def division, div a comma b, and c is equal to a divided by b, return c. Sir, why to write a into b, sir? Directly here only a into b you can return. Even that one also. You can complete even one line also. Just to understand set of lines of code to show you, I'm writing one more line extra. Directly you can return a into b only. Directly you can return a plus b only. You don't need to write c is equal to also. Directly you can return that one only. Okay, now you have done 4 user defined functions I have created. Example here 4 I have created. Now these 4 I have created. Now it was created in my laptop and I'm going to use only in my laptop because it was created by me. By me it was created. So when it is created by me, the shortcuts or what are the things are created by me, I'm going to use in my laptop only. It will work only in my laptop. Whoever has created the functions, only that person, and who are having those functions, that person only can use. Now, inbuilt functions are used by every person commonly. Inbuilt functions, no restriction. But whereas these functions, it can be used by the person who has created or who has shared. For example, you have to use the same functions. I have to share to you first. Then only you can use. For example, I have created like this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to share you the 4 functions. What you will do, I mean this notepad I will share. You will copy. What are the notepad is there? See, first I'm going to copy this one in a separate notepad. I'm going to give the notepad name as SRK. And in this notepad, I'm going to save the functions. How many functions I have saved? 4 functions. After saving like this notepad I'm going to share to you. In your email or wherever it is, I'm going to share. Okay, shared. After that, what you are going to do, you will receive that one. And once you have received, you will open this and you will copy all the functions. Control A, Control C. You will select everything, copy, and then you are going to paste here. You will take one cell In the cell, you are going to paste everything and you are going to execute. Right? Of course, this arrow marks you are going to remove and proper indentation you are going to give. Okay. Now you are going to write like this instead of this one. Now if you write like this, automatically it works. For example, let's try. Okay. So just I'm going to save them. Now in your laptop, now in this Jupyter notebook, how many functions are there? 4 functions are there. Now you can use any one of them. You can use them directly and you are going to work 2 into 3. It will work. Okay. Whatever you are writing, it will work. Okay. Now assume you are using the separate Jupyter notebook. Fresh. Again, once that is completed, you are using a separate Jupyter notebook. Now in this function, again I'm going to use add 2 comma 3. It will throw the error. What is this add function? Means for every Jupyter notebook, what you have to do again, you have to copy and paste. Whatever you are having here, again you have to copy and here you have to paste them. Again, after pasting them, then you can use them. Again, you can continue. Again, if you open fresh Jupyter notebook, again, same logic. Now the point is, okay, 4 functions I have created, each function of just 3 lines of code, you have copied and pasted. Assume I have created 20 functions, one function is 20 lines. Each function is 20 lines. 20 functions are there. Means 400 lines of code is there. So once I share it to you, you are going to copy and paste here every time. Instead of doing like that, what we are going to do is, here I'm going to save this file. What are the Jupyter, these functions I have created file now? This file, okay, what are the file is there? This file, I'm going to click on save as. Instead of save, I'm going to click on save as srk.py file. I'm going to click on the srk.py file. Now it is going to create a py file. A separate py file will be created. Can you see this? srk.py. And if you click on the properties, can you see here there is a py file? Now this py file consists of what? Inside this py file, what is there? 4 functions are there. What are the 4 functions? Add, sub, mul and dim. These are the 4 functions. Now these, what are the, this node py file is there now? This py file I will copy into wherever my Jupyter notebook is located. In my laptop somewhere my Jupyter notebook is located now. So today I'm working on this functions concept. Here my Jupyter notebook is available. I'm pasting here. Now can you see here? I have pasted. Can you see, if you are interested, can you open? If you open also you can see. Now where is this py file is located? In one folder. In the same folder, this function file also available. Means both of them are in the same folder. Whatever my Jupyter notebook file is there, whatever my notepad file consisting of functions are there, both are in the same folder. Once both are in same folder, here just I'm going to do only small thing called as import srk. Done. Import srk means the 4 functions, if you copy and paste, what happens? Same thing happens. Sir, I didn't understand. One more time. Okay, let's take this one as one example and let us take one more example by creating a new file. 2 examples let us create. This example let us keep here and this example I'll keep on the right side. Okay, now restart the kernel, clear output. Everything is fresh. This is not there, this is not there. How this is looking for you, and this one and this one both are same. Okay, now here if I copy and paste the four functions, if I copy and paste, okay, paste, this is my first cell. What is the cell number? 1. Okay, 4 functions I have copied and pasted. Now I want to use in this sub function. I want to use only the sub function. What I have to use? Sub. In that you have to write what are the numbers you are interested. For example, I am interested 2, 3. What is the output I am going to get? Miss, it is going to take A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3, C is equal to 2 minus 3 and minus 1 is the output. Now total how many lines I have written? 2 cells. In the cell 1 all the functions are there. In the cell 2 what are the function I am interested? I am going to use that function. Now here I am going to import SRK. Now this one cell, this cell, both are same. Both are same, not even minute difference. Both are as it is. Now here you want to use the sub function. Huh? Here also you can use the sub function. How to use the sub function means within SRK sub. Within SRK sub of 2, 3, same answer. Now what is the advantage you can see now? So these second line is common, na? Cell number 2 is common. But cell number 1, sir, in the cell number 2 also it is not common, sir. SRK dot is there now. Okay, now let us execute one more time. Let me remove all this thing. Okay, from is the keyword. From SRK, I'm going to import star. Star means all the functions. Now all these functions and this one as it is. Now in this case you don't need to even write this one. Now for example here I want to use the add function. How to use the add function in this case? ADD of 2, 3. What is the output? 5. Here also ADD of 2, 5. Sorry, 2, 3. Any difference? Second cell and third cell. Are you finding any minute difference in the second cell and the third cell? Output any difference? Now what is the difference you are observing? First cell versus this. This concept is called as modules and this concept is called as user defined functions. So once we create the functions and once we store them, we can use furtherly. For multiple times we can use. That is the third point which I have written in the functions point. It avoids the repetition and make the use code reusable for multiple times. If you use functions by others in the form of library, it is termed as library functions or module functions. Is the points are clear? Everyone? So you can write in the notes. Once we create the multiple functions, see here how many lines of code I have written in each function? 2 lines only. Assume I have written 30 lines in each function. 30 lines I have written. 4 functions only is there, but each function consists of 30. Total how many lines means 30 into 4, 120 lines. Copying 120 lines and pasting here is easier. You just import from name, import star is easier out of these two. Simple point. They have created like this. For doing this one, from today onwards, we are going to work this one. Once we enter into this one, here I have shown you SRK. Next one we are going to discuss is NumPy, followed by Pandas. NumPy and Pandas only data analyst role. If I explain those two, data analyst role of Python is completed. Data analyst role with Python is completed. For understanding them, what we require? Functions. For functions, what we require? What are the things? Programs, how to write the programs. This is simple examples. Now I will show you the programs. I told you now, each function consists of 30 lines, 20 lines also I told you now. How it is possible, I will show you now. 30 lines of program, how it will be converted as a single line of function, a shortcut. Is the points are clear as of now? Present, everything is clear? So what is the advantage of creating the user-defined functions are clear? Once user-defined functions are clear, I mean, once you are done, okay? As one of the student is asking whether I'm in the silent mode. Guys, Everyone, can you please confirm, is my voice is loud and clear? It is clear, right? Yeah. Yeah. Done, done. If it is clear, done. Okay. Now, so let's see this. So here we are having in terms of user defined functions like this. We are going to create our own functions and we are going to use our own functions. What are the functions we have created? We are going to use them. Now, next one is a function. How to define a function? Already I have told you how to define a function. Now let us enter into each of them. Now, before moving to this, here I told you SRK. If just we are going to save the functions in the SRK. Now there is one more function called as, one more module. So now earlier you stored all the things in the SRK, right? Where is this? 1 minute. You have stored here srk.py. You have created srk.py. In the srk.py, you have stored the various functions. What are the 4 functions you have created? You have saved in the srk.py, and this function, this file is called as module. This is called as module. Now, what is meant by module means consisting of multiple functions. A py file which consists of multiple functions is called as module. Is the point is clear? A py file consisting of multiple functions is called as module, right? Now, so in this module, we are going to have multiple functions and we are going to use the multiple functions. Clear, guys? Next, functions. Okay, module functions we have created. In the modules also, we are having 2 types of modules. One is called as inbuilt module. Second one is called as user defined module. srk.py is a user defined or inbuilt? User defined, because I have created in front of you, right? Now, similarly, we are having the module name called as math. So from math, I'm going to import star. Star means what are the functions are available inside the math. Math module was not created by me. It is an inbuilt module. There is a math.py file is available. Sir, where it is available, sir? It is installed. When you are trying to install the Python, that py file also installed automatically. That py files you can't open. You can't open and you can't see what are the functions are there and what is the code was written for that. You can't see. It is a patented. If you can open that and if you can see the functions directly, then you can create a one more software like Python. Okay. So none of the person will show everything. Just they'll tell you what is the importance. Now, see here, I'm going to take the help of math module. Means help. Could you see here? Help. Help means it shows that whatever available inside the math module, but it is throwing the error called as math is not defined. Why it is throwing that error means because I have not imported math. So now if you import math.py will be imported. Py file will be imported. Sir, what is this one? What is this one? What is the difference? So here, observe this one. This is srk.py file. Import srk means this entire srk.py copy and paste in the RAM. Point is clear? Which one? srk.py will be copy and paste into your RAM. Now, If I say from SRK import star means it will open this one. Inside that whatever is there, copy and paste into the RAM. That is the difference. Inside things you want a overall file you want to. So for example, some people will copy. I ask it to copy the file. Copy the file means what is the meaning? Inside the content copy a, overall file copy a. Two options are there. See, you can simply copy and paste somewhere. srk.py was copied and I am pasting on the desktop here. Okay, I am pasting here. It is pasted. This is one way. Second way, I am going to in the same file. Okay, instead of copying the entire file, I am copying the functions. Copy, Control C, and I am pasting them in the separate text file, and here I am pasting them. This is one way. Which one? Both of them are copy paste only now. In the case 1, I have copied the entire srk.py and I pasted on the desktop. In the case 2, I have copied the internal functions. That is the difference between these two. If you import srk, the entire srk.py will be imported. If you copy from srk import star means only the functions will be imported. Functions will be copied. That is the difference. Is the point is clear? Now, import math. Now see here, it is saying that inbuilt module. It is a inbuilt module or built-in module. Inbuilt or inbuilt? Built-in module, which is math. So in this math, these are the functions. These are the various functions which are available inside the math. Now in this, one of the function, can you see one of the function called as sqrt? Can you see there is a function? Now I want to use this sqrt. I want to use sqrt function. Now, just what I am going to do? Two options are there. One is import math. If you import math means entire py will be imported. Now within that math dot sqrt of 4 means I want the square root of 4. So it is going to give the square root of 4 as 2. This is one way. What is the second way? Means from math import star. Now in this case, you no need to write math dot because you have imported what? Internal functions you have imported. Directly you can write the function name only, sqrt of 4. Now this time you no need to do that. If you have imported like this means you have to use this one. You have done like this means directly you have to write the function name. That is the difference. Okay, you are writing what? What is the code? So it is having some math.py. There is a math.py. Okay, Vaibhav, just 1 minute. You are having math.py. Okay, math.py file is available. Within the math.py, there is a function called as sqrt of x. C is equal to x to the power of 1 by 2. That is 0.5. And return C. That is the code they have written. And they have stored in the math.py. Now what I have to do for this? Similarly, in the earlier example, srk has stored the 4 functions. Okay, do you remember that one? srk having the 4 functions. What are the 4 functions? Add, sub, mul, div. Okay, before moving to this one, just focus here one more time. If you are interested, just focus this. 4 functions are there here. Now, that 4 functions are there, 10 functions are there. How you can know means once you have to open that. You have to double click on this. Without seeing inside that, how you can know? Now, what is the first step? Here, observe this. Observe this one clearly. I am writing here, import srk. Import SRK means this entire file will be loaded in the RAM. It will not open inside, just entire file will be loaded. Import SRK means entire file. Is the point is clear? Entire file is loaded. First step. Now, what is the second step is? Now, inside that open. SRK dot means open the SRK. Now it is going to open. In that, I'm going to use SRK dot add. Now, whether add is available? Yes, add is available. So it will be selected. And for that, it is going to give two arguments, 2, 3, and it is going to return output as 5. Import SRK meaning is clear now? Import SRK means enter py file. SRK dot means open that. In that add function, you select. That is the meaning. This is option number 1 to work. Vaibhav, your question is clear? Your question is clear? Now, second point. From SRK, I'm going to import star. Now into the RAM, which part will be stored? SRK entire file will be stored in the RAM means no. It is going to copy all these things, Control C, and it is going to paste in the RAM now. Now in the RAM, what are there? SRK is there or functions are there? Functions are there, not SRK. So now in this time you should not use the SRK dot. Because in the RAM, it is not having srk.py. Earlier case, example 1, example 2. Assume this is your RAM. Okay, in the RAM earlier srk.py was loaded. When you are writing here, import srk, in your RAM, you are going to get srk.py. When you write from srk, import star, into your RAM, you are going to get def of add, def of sub, def of mul, def of div. Like this, it will be stored in the RAM. Not this one. Is the point is clear? Now, in this, this one is that means we have to use every time srk dot, srk dot, srk dot. For each and everything, we have to use srk dot. But this one, we no need to use anything. Directly, we can use the function name only. Add of, sub of, like this. But here you have to use srk dot add, srk dot sub, srk dot mul. And here you are going to use in terms of mul directly. That is the difference. Is the point is clear now, everyone? Any questions? Now in this both of them, common point, what is the common point is there miss? And now if you take example number 3, that is math. This is SRK. Okay, user defined. Now math is the inbuilt. What is inbuilt module or what is user defined module means consisting of multiple functions. Whether you take SRK, whether you take math, inside that what is there means functions are there. Now see here I have imported one more time. Okay, this example is clear now. First example, second example, both are clear, right? Okay, now second, import SRK. Now, okay, I have imported. Now within the SRK, how many files are there? How many functions are there? What are the functions? I'm writing here help of SRK. Can you see? Help on module SRK. In this, what are the functions are available? 4 functions are available. Is the point is clear, guys? So 4 functions are available. Similarly, I'm going to import math and I'm asking help of math. Now in this also, this is ACOS is a function. See here, functions heading. This is also functions heading. Can you see? Functions. Add is a function where it takes 2 arguments. ACOS is a function where it is going to take 1 argument. Sir, below to this something was written. No, sir. In our case, it was not written. That is only called as with respect to help file and documentation. I will explain that one. What is meant by documentation and how you have to write that one and what is the use of that one, everything. Just let us focus on this. So here we are having the various functions. Multiple functions are there. For example, in this one of the function, I'm going to use the function is called as log. Log is the function. Now tell me guys, if I have to use the log function, how I have to use? If I import the math means how I have to use? If I import math, then math.log. And you have to give the number. What are the number you are interested? Log of 10. It is going to give the log of 10 value. Okay. For example, you want to use square root. How to use square root function? Math dot. Because every time you have to use math dot. Math dot square root of 10. Or square root of 16. Right? Like this you are going to use. So inside the math, what is there now? Functions. Multiple functions are there. Now if you know what is function, so now similarly import numpy. This is also one of the module. Numpy. In this one function is there called as array. Now what I have to do with that? Numpy dot array. Now there is a module called as pandas. Import pandas. And within the pandas, there is a function called as data frame. How to use that function? Pandas dot data frame is the function. Now within the numpy, there are almost 50 functions are there. How to use each and every function? Numpy dot, numpy dot, numpy dot, like that. How many functions are there? That many functions. Each function in the backend, what is there? Some code is there. And it is going to execute that code. What are the code was written inside that? It is going to execute that one. How that code was written means based on your core Python. Now, is the points are clear? What are the base? I mean the starting of the functions only. Now, built-in functions are clear. Built-in functions means ID, length function, print function, input function, and what are the different functions we have used earlier. All these are called as inbuilt functions. User-defined functions means by creating yourself def. Module functions means all the functions will be stored in one py file, and that py file is called as module, and we are going to use those functions. Now 3 functions are clear for you. What is meant by function is clear, and what is the types of functions? Everything is clear. Now let's start executing the functions. What are the, how to create a function and how this will be used in the further. If everything is clear, we can move on. If anyone has any questions, you can ask. Just I have tried to explain for you the inbuilt functions. What is user defined functions? So every function will consist of internally some code, and you have to give the input and it will give the output. And it will execute what are the internal code is there. How this internal code is written? That is the question. Next question is how these functions internal code was written. That we understand means functions topic is completed. From there, everything will be done. Now, let's get into this. What are the functions we are having? Now, every function, what are the function you are having? You are going to create a function like this. Already I have explained for you. And this is the function. You are going to use the function now. Use the function is called as calling the function. You are going to call the function. Call means nothing but you are going to use. What are the function you have created? You are going to use. Right? Now, a function can be created with no arguments. A function can be created with no arguments. Now, first, before moving on to this example, okay, here I'm going to use the add and function, and I'm going to click on the shift tab. What is meant by shift tab means help file. Now can you see here, add is a function which takes how many inputs? two inputs. Any two inputs it is going to take. And what is the here document string? No doc string is there. Nothing is there. Means for what purpose this function was created? No one knows. The person who created the person, for example, I have created the function. I will understand. For example, I have created 30 lines of code. 30 lines of code I have created. And like that, I have created 10 functions. I created 10 functions with each of them 30 lines of code I have created. Okay, completed. After one day, I have left the company. I have left. Now one more person is going to join. In my position, one more person will come. And now he is going to open what are the works I have done. He'll open and he'll observe what are the user defines I have created. Now to understand that, what is the purpose of this user defined function? Now what he has to do? He has to check 30 lines of code, each of them very clearly, so that he will understand. Otherwise, he will not understand. Now, for that reason, what I'm going to do means, here I'm going to create a doc string. How to create a doc string means nothing but writing a comment inside the function is called as doc string. A multi-line comment inside the function is called as doc string. Multi-line comment. How to write multi-line comment means triple quotes open, triple quotes close. A multi-line comment inside the function is called as doc string. Is the point is clear? So I'm going to create a doc string. What is a doc string means? It is going to return doc string. It returns the sum of two numbers. Sum of two numbers, that is a comma b. It is going to return the sum of two numbers a comma b. That is the doc string I am writing. Okay, sir, you have written the doc string. Now what is the use means? If you click on this, see, it returns the sum of two numbers a comma b. Okay, what is the use of this function means? It is going to return the 1. Is the point is clear now? Earlier we have executed math na. So I'm going to import here also one more time. Just observe. I'm going to import math. With after importing math dot, within that there is a function called as sqrt. I don't know what is the meaning of sqrt. I don't know. Now what I have to do? Click on the shift tab. Now in the shift tab, what is the doc string it is showing to you? It returns the square root of x. What are the x you are going to give here? It will give the square root of that. Now you understand what is the importance of doc string. Whenever we don't know about that particular function, what it is going to give, for what purpose it was created, then simply doc string will tell us what is the use of that one. In the help file, if you open the help file, in the help file what was written means only this. So earlier I told you now, what are these now? So here first one function is there. This is one of the function a cos. What is the function? What this is going to do means this is the help file. That is the doc string which was written inside that. They will not disclose the code. They will not disclose the code. For example, this one square root is the function. In the square root function, what it is going to return? It is going to return the square root of x. I am writing here 4 and it is going to give the 2. Where is the code, sir? Okay, I have given something and it is giving output something. Input is there, output is there, but internally code is there. Where the code? Code you cannot see. None of the inbuilt functions code we cannot see. None of the inbuilt function we cannot see because they are patented. We have to feel, okay, the code was written in this way. sqrt of x and return. It is going to return x to the power of 0.5. And in between they have written the multi-line comment, that is returning the square root of x. They have written the comment. Is the point is clear? Now there is one more function called as factorial function is available. That is also available within the math only. Math.factorial. Okay, now I don't know what is meant by factorial. What is it is going to say, or how many arguments it is going to take first means only one. What is that one is n. And what it is going to give? N factorial. It is the n factorial. I'm going to write here 5 factorial value it is going to give. Is the points are clear? Now what is the code for that? It is not going to show you the code. Just what is the argument you have to provide, what is the output it is going to give. Only these two things the functions will show to us. Inbuilt functions, module functions, just they are used to show to us only the inputs and what is the output you can get from this if you provide. Okay, is the points are clear, guys? So in this way the functions are created. What are the functions we are having? So this is called as doc string. Doc string. Doc means documentation. For your documentation purpose in help file this will be written. If any programs, any software was created, for you one user manual they will give na. What are the user manual they are writing now? That will be written here in the doc string. If you click on this, it works like this. If you click on this, it works like this. Is the points are clear? Now, next, a function with no arguments. A function can be created with no arguments. A function can be created with multiple arguments. Okay, so now see here, this is example number 1. In this example, I'm going to create a function with inside that how many arguments are there? Inside that how many are there? Any argument is available inside that? This is lines of code. I'm asking arguments. Arguments means in the bracket whatever you are having, they are called as arguments. Any arguments are there? No. So this arguments, the function was created with no arguments. What are the function? Forget. Now while calling also, you have to call with no arguments only. You cannot give here 1. If you give 1, it says that it takes only 0 arguments, but 1 was given. For example, you have given here 25, 30, 32. You have given 3. This function was created with how many arguments? 0. But you have given how many arguments? 3 arguments. So it is saying that 0 arguments are given, but how many you have given means 3. What this function requires means 0. You should not give any argument. If you want to use this function means call this function with 0 arguments. Because it was created with 0. It was created with 0 arguments means you have to also call with 0 arguments only. So now I'm calling with 0 arguments. Automatically first line is getting executed. Enter the first number. I'm entering my first number as 25. Enter the second number. I'm entering my second number as 26. Now what is the output I'm going to get from this? 51. 25 plus 26 which is 51. Is the point is clear? Sir, what is the difference? Okay, sir, what is the difference between ADD of this one, ADD of A comma B? What is the difference? A function was created with no arguments. A function was created with 2 arguments. That is the difference. Now, if it was created, if it is created something like this, now after creating, create means defining. Creating is different. Using that function is different. Created. Now I want to use them. Now if I want to use this function, I have to call this function like this only. With no arguments I have to call. If I have to use this function, I have to call by writing inside 2 things. Any 2 things. Choice is yours. Any 2 you have to write. Because it was created with 2. Is the point is clear? Now this function, next one is called as arguments. So now a function, next point, function arguments. Heading is function, a function, arguments or parameters. You can write, you can take the word called as parameters or arguments. Anything is same. Okay, a function can have okay, a function can have with no arguments A function can have with no arguments. Next, a function can have with arguments. A function can have with arguments. Now within the function we have with arguments, in that again two are there. One is with arguments only, within that two. What are the two means? Limited number of arguments, unlimited number of arguments, unlimited, no restriction, unlimited number of arguments. A function with unlimited number of arguments is nothing but arbitrary arguments. A function can have multiple arguments. Okay, limited number means maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you also don't know how many arguments you are going to give, then it is called as unlimited. Okay, a function will have with arguments. Within the arguments, what are the different types of arguments are there means? First one is called as positional arguments. Second one is called as keyword or default arguments. Third one is called as keyword arguments. Fourth one is called as arbitrary arguments. Total 4 different types of arguments we are having. A function with no arguments is a separate one. A function with arguments is a separate one. Total 4 arguments we are having. Is this point is clear for everyone? Next, coming to this. First, let's start with the first one called as positional, followed by default, followed by keyword, and followed by arbitrary. Now, what is positional arguments? Positional arguments means, so let's take an example. Positional arguments and keyword arguments, these both comes under positional and keyword arguments. These both comes under with respect to compulsory arguments. Positional arguments or compulsory arguments. Okay, positional arguments or compulsory arguments. Now, let's take an example here. Def sub a comma b. Okay, sub a comma b. Now in this, I'm going to call this function. What is the function? Sub. Now when I call this function, if I open like this, here how many arguments are there? Miss, 2 arguments are there. 2 of them are compulsory. Sir, how to know whether it is compulsory or not? So if you are having only a letter, means it is called as positional or it is called as keyword. If you are having only a letter. Along with the letter side equal to symbol is there and something was written like this, that is called as default. A argument which is having the equal to symbol is called as default. A star along with the argument is there. Before to that star should be there. Then it is called as arbitrary. Like this we have to identify whether it is an arbitrary argument or whether it is a positional or whether it is a default. A argument which is having only normally like this, everyone knows. This is comes under positional or keyword, which is having equal to symbol, that comes under default, which has star, it comes under arbitrary. Example, each of them will understand one by one. so that you'll understand everything. First, let me explain positional or keyword. Followed by I will explain the default. Then you'll automatically understand what is the importance of default and what is the meaning of arbitrary. All the examples will cover each and everything. Okay. Now, sub A comma B and this one. Now in this, what I'm going to have is positional argument. Here, if I click on the shift tab, A comma B. A comma B means two arguments are there. These two are called as compulsory. Either position, earlier I have told you this positional or keyword na. Positional or keyword, simply you can write it as compulsory or mandatory. Instead of compulsory, mandatory. Right? Mandatory. Within the mandatory, two types are there. One is called as positional or keyword. But they are mandatory. Compulsory you have to give. Otherwise it will throw the error. That is the meaning. Mandatory or compulsory. Okay. Now, so here I'm having in terms of sub. In this, can you see here 2? First you have to tell me how many number of arguments it is having. First question. How many? How many arguments? 2 arguments. What are the two arguments? A and B. What are the type of arguments? It is a compulsory arguments or simply mandatory arguments. Whether positional or keyword that you will read. You have to tell me either compulsory, default, arbitrary. Out of these 3, one. Compulsory, default, arbitrary. Now what is this? It is a compulsory. Right? Compulsory means we have to write compulsorily 2 things. 2 values you have to provide. Otherwise it will throw the error. Now I am going to write here 2 comma 3. When I have written the 2 comma 3, automatically A will be cited as 2. So it is going to assign as a default multiple variable assignment. If you remember, A comma B will be cited as 2 comma 3. A will be cited as 2, B will be cited as 3. And A and then A is 2, B and 3 means here 2 minus 3, it is going to give minus 1. So it is going to take in the order. In the order if it is taking, it is called as positional. Now the same 2 comma 3, but see I'm writing 2 comma 3 only one more time. What is the 2 comma 3 means? It is output is minus 1. But 2 should be B. 2 is not 3. 2 should be B. Then what I have to do? You have to write 3 comma 2 either. Either you have to write 3 comma 2. If you write 3 comma 2 also, okay, this is one way and you will get the like this. No, I will write in the starting only the 2. After that only I will write 3. But B has to be considered 2 only. I will write like this only, but still B has to be considered. Then write B is equal to, and this one write A is equal to. Then it will be called as keyword arguments. Is the point is clear? One more time. Observe this one clearly. I am creating one function called as sub A comma B. C is equal to A minus B, return C. Creating no difference. In creating not even minute difference. Created with what? Compulsory. I have created with what? Compulsory. Don't get confused with the compulsory, positional and all these things. Basically we are having the compulsory. In that again subcategory positional and keyword. Main one is compulsory. I have created with 2 compulsory. In that compulsory, now 2 options are there. To use this compulsory arguments, 2 options are there. You can use as a positional arguments. You can use it. Use means what? Call. You can call this function by using the positionally. You can call this function by using the keyword. You can use by using positional. You can use by using keyword. In what way you want to use that way. Whichever you are interested. Compulsory arguments can be used in both the ways as per our choice. Compulsory arguments you can use as per your choice. Now here I'm using as a positional. Positional means it takes automatically the values. If you want to use as a keyword, clearly you have to write for B, A is equal to 3, B is equal to 2 or something, or in the, what are the order? Here order is not important. B is equal to 3, A is equal to 2. In whatever the order you are interested, you can write. Sir, now SUB of A is equal to 5, B is equal to, I will not write for B, just I will write here 1 only. Means one is keyword argument, one is positional argument. Is that okay? It is not advisable. You can go with either positional, either keyword. If all the arguments either keep in the positional, all the arguments keep either in the keyword. Okay, is the point is clear? Otherwise, it is going to be a problem. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? So keep everything either positional, either in the keyword. Don't use 50% of that and this one. One argument positional, one argument this one argument like that. Don't use like that. Within the compulsory I'm saying. Forget about the default arbitrary. Within the compulsory, you are having two options. While creating, there is no difference. While using only, the difference will come. In the creation part, there is no difference. You have created with compulsory argument, but while using, you can use as a positional or keyword. Creating is compulsory. Using is positional or keyword. Is the point is clear now? Everyone? Anyone has any questions? No, right? So I have created like this. After creating, while creating, it is compulsory. A function with compulsory arguments. I have written the heading. Now while calling, positional I can call, or if I am interested, I can call the same function with the this keyword arguments. And I'm going to get the output like this. Okay. While creating compulsory, while using them positional and keyword. Next one is default arguments. Next concept goes with the default. Now what is default arguments? A function while creating only, I'm writing the B value as 5. While creating only. So what is the difference? Can you tell me what is the difference you have observed in this and in this? Tell me guys, what is the difference you have observed in this? Def word only, sub only, a only. There B, here B is equal to 5. And return C is equal to A minus B, return C. Everything is same now. Other than B is equal to, it here B, normal B is there, here B is equal to 5 is there. Other than that, anything is there? That is the difference. Now this point only is called as default. Now, so just observe. I'm going to click on the shift tab now. In the shift tab, now how many arguments are there? Within the sub total, how many arguments? How many? 2. What are them? A, B. In that, what is A? What is B? A is called as compulsory. What is B is called as default. Is that clear? Now, tell me, very simple. Earlier we have executed multiple functions now. In that, one of them is type function. Now I'm going to click on the shift tab. Now tell me in this, how many arguments are there? Here, this after hash means it is completed. You can ignore all these things. Before to the hash, what or is there? That one only. How many arguments are there before to hash? One argument is there. That argument compulsory or default or which type? What is this? Compulsory, because equal to is not there, star is not there. Compulsory, obviously. So something you have to write inside that. Then it will give the what is the type. Now, print. Okay, everyone has used the print function for multiple times now. Print. Now in this, tell me how many arguments are there. Tell me total arguments. This is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 arguments are there. In these 5 arguments, total count is 5. Out of 5 arguments, what are the arguments you are having? First argument, what is this argument is called as? Arbitrary, because star is there. What is this is called as? Default. What is this is called as? Default. What is this called? Default. What is this called? Default. So first one is arbitrary. So here arbitrary means you can write only one argument, you can write 2 arguments, you can write 3 arguments, you can write 4 arguments, you can write 5 arguments, you can write unlimited number of arguments. It works. Unlimited number of arguments, it works. That is arbitrary. How many arguments you are going to write? We don't know. Now, what is default? Now tell me what is the advantage of default, followed by that print one will go. Once again, I'll explain the print. Now see here, default sub a b is equal to 5. Okay, I have created. Now while calling the function, I'm calling this function now. While calling the function, here I'm going to give this bracket. Inside the bracket, shift tab. Now 2 arguments are there, out of which one of them is compulsory, one of them is default. So I'm giving one of them 2. Means it takes automatically a. B value, it takes automatically 5, and 2 minus 5 minus 3. For example, I have given 2 comma 8 I have given. Means it is going to take whatever the value I have provided. When the default argument will work means if you have not given anything, it takes automatically. But if you have given something, it will take what you have given. Is the point is clear? This point you have to write clearly in the notes. What is the point is this one, right? While creating a function, just 1 minute. Here itself we'll write default arguments. While creating a function itself, we are going to assign a default to a argument by using a assignment operator equal to. While creating only. While creating, example is below this one. Example is like this. Done guys? Completed? Swapping? We'll discuss. I'll show you with one more example. So here, if you don't assign the value for default arguments, if you select automatically default value, if you assign the value for default argument, it will consider that value which you have assigned clearly, that while calling the function. So while defining it is common, while calling, now for B already 5 is there, but still I have written 8. Now 8 will be considered or 5 will be considered, means 8 only will be considered. If 8 was not given, then automatically it takes the 5 for B. If not given only, it will take. Now in the printer, 1 comma 2, it has to print 1 comma 2. What is the default? What is the different separator? What is the separator by default? Space. 1 space 2. Why you are getting the space between them? What is the reason behind that? Because default argument is space. No, it should not consider default argument. It has to consider what I am writing. How I have written here 8, and it has to consider 8. In the same way, it has to consider what I write. It has to not to consider the default one. So here I'm going to write here separator is equal to comma, or now what is the output I'm going to get? 1 comma 2. It is not going to consider the space because I have written clearly. If I don't write anything, then it takes automatically. Which will take automatically in the print? Separator. In sub, which will take automatically? B value. Which are the default arguments? They will take automatically, not the compulsory arguments. Compulsory arguments you only have to provide. Default arguments only it will take automatically. Is the points are clear now? Default argument is clear for everyone? Positional, keyword, default. Now what is balance left is arbitrary. Now once we see what is arbitrary, with that we'll understand types of arguments. Now from there we'll move on to the how to create the functions. And once functions are created, we'll directly enter into the different modules, various modules. Okay. Now, so what is arbitrary argument? Now see here a function. I'm going to create a function like this. Okay, a function with arbitrary arguments. Now def sub of A. Now here I'm writing something for loop. Okay, done. Now tell me, I'm going to use this function called as sub of, and I'm going to click on the shift tab. Now how many arguments are there? First I'm asking question, how many? How many arguments? 1. Next question, what is that argument? A. Third question, what is the type of argument? It is a compulsory argument. Now here I'm going to provide sub of 12. See, it is going to throw the error because it cannot apply the for loop on for I in 12. For loop cannot be applied on the integer. Now here I'm going to provide the tuple of or list of or something. I'm going to provide the tuple Siva, Rama, Krishna. Now tell me how many arguments I have provided? 3 arguments or 1 argument? It is a 1 argument, tuple argument I have provided. This main bracket, inside the bracket, this is considered as single argument. That single argument I am providing as a tuple. Now it is going to apply on the tuple for I in A, hello Siva, hello Rama, hello Krishna. Now how many arguments I have provided? Means 1 argument I have provided. This was created with 1 compulsory argument. I also provided compulsory argument. Okay. Now I'm writing here 1 argument called as Siva. And it is going to print hi S, hello S, I, V, A, separately. Now the same function as it is, copy and paste. Okay. Now I'm copying and paste. Same function as it is. But this time I'm keeping here star. This time I'm keeping the star. Now if I click on the sub. Now What is this? Now tell me how many arguments are there? First question. How many? 1. What is that argument? A. What is the type of argument? Arbitrary. Now what is meant by arbitrary? Arbitrary means you can give anything. No restriction. You can give one name, you can give two names, you can give three names, you can give four names, you can give 10 names, you can give 50 names. Choice is yours. Your choice. I'm writing here Siva. One name Siva. Second name Ram. Third name Pavan. Fourth name Uday. Something I'm writing like this. 1. So basically what it is going to do means A will be stored this all in a tuple. It is going to store in a tuple. That is the backend code. Whenever you are having an arbitrary argument, for that arbitrary argument, when you are writing the multiple things, everything will be stored in a single one called as tuple, and it is going to execute the code. Inside the function, you can write if. Inside the function, you can write for. Inside the function, you can write while. Inside the function, you can write operators. Inside the function, you can write list. Anything. Till now, whatever we have discussed in the previous class, anything can be there inside the function. Now, the previous classes till now, whatever we have discussed, for loop, while loop, all these things, whatever we have discussed, examples. We have written the multiple examples for loop. We have written some examples for the while loop. What are the examples we have created for loop and what are the examples we have created for while loop? Every example is called as program. And that every program we are going to convert as a function. A program will be converted as a function. That we'll see in the tomorrow's class. How to create a functions. If any person asks what is a program, he asked us to create a program. Create a program means what we have to write. Create a function means what we have to write. These two things we are going to see in the tomorrow's class. Along with that, I will tell you what is the difference between the print versus return. Inside the function print is there means what happens. Inside the function return is there means what happens. Is there any difference? These two we are going to consider in the next class, that is tomorrow. As of now in today's class I have explained for you. So what is function? What are the different types of functions? And what are the different types of arguments? Right? These are the things which I have covered. So inbuilt function, user defined function, module function. Module function means somewhere it will be located and we are going to use that one. Right guys? So tomorrow we are going to complete the balance part of the functions along with the modules. These two topics will be completed tomorrow, and from day after tomorrow we are going to start the NumPy. Python for data analytics, main one. That is the main one actually. Done. If you are having any questions, you can ask. Done. If no questions, you can leave. And practice.